Hey everybody, and welcome to The Full Pour, episode 25. We wanted to show you a little video first of Rocky Pond Winery out in Chelan. It is such a gorgeous space, and when everybody's starting to really get excited about getting out there again, we want to just give you a little teaser of that beautiful property. But today we are out in Woodinville we are out at Rocky Pond at their Woodinville location. We're super excited. If you can kind of see, it's just absolutely gorgeous. I'm Kristen with Sip Magazine, and this is Melissa with Sip Magazine. We are sisters. I don't know if a lot of people know, but we are a family-run business over at Sip Magazine. I'm sure Mama Sip will be jumping on here at any time, giving us some comments and everything. But we're here just to have fun, and we are really excited to talk about Taste Washington. We grew up in Eastern Washington, very close to a pretty famous wine region in the Red Mountain area. So Washington wine has always been really near and dear to our heart. We like to drink it a lot. And so this month when it comes around, it's very exciting. Taste Washington is usually just this really awesome big event that they have at CenturyLink, which is now Lumen Field. So lots of things have changed. But this year they are going in kind of a virtual format and have a lot of really cool programs that we kind of, we'll talk a little bit about. But really what this month is about is just kind of bringing forth, more visibility for Washington wines. We're very well known in the country, if not the world, for our wines, but now is the time that we need to support our local community. So there's a lot going on. Taste Washington is partnering with all the different wineries and restaurants around Washington to do these, kind of like a
weekly theme tastings and wine.
Weekly theme. So maybe this week still is Cabernet and casseroles, which I am such a fan of. I know a lot of people are doing like their own take on it, but let's get real. I like the old school casserole dishes. So you go on to, here we go. To get more information, you want to visit tastewashington.org. It'll have a list of all the participating wineries, what they're doing. I think it's been a little confusing just, with this format. It's very new. So there are some restaurants that are offering these dishes to go that you can just go pick them up at. There are some wineries that are creating recipes and giving you suggested pairings for each of these. And like Rocky Pond, you can come in and dine in here. They have an absolutely amazing culinary experience here, which we're going to definitely get into later. But you can come in here, make a reservation, come in, and every week they will have something new. Next week, it's Catch of the Day and Chardonnay. And they are going to be offering the charred Asian halibut salad and with papaya vinaigrette, which sounds awesome. And I think that we're actually going to be seeing the casserole today. But anyway, please go to tastewashington.org, get the full list of lineup. There's so much great things that are going on. So I encourage you to visit.
And if you aren't in an area that has a participating restaurant, you can go online, and Whole Foods has pulled together a recipe of the week.
Ooh.
And so you can cook at home based on the recipe of what they're recommending for that week's wine pairing.
That's so
you
fun.
Can go and check it out, and you can, for those that can cook at home.
And most people have a Whole Foods around them, hopefully. So we've got lots of different things today. We're going to finish off with kind of updating everyone on tasting room etiquette, and especially tasting room etiquette during a pandemic. We always like to do a little refresher course. Maybe people aren't, this is going to be some of their first time out tasting. We just want to give you some guidelines. We talked to a lot of different wineries and gotten some feedback from them of what can really make this a great experience, not only for yourself, but for the actual wineries, because honestly, they're learning this as, everybody else is. And so please, number one thing is really just be patient, make reservations, but we'll get into that later. We are actually starting out with, hey, cheers.
Cheers.
What is this wine, Melissa?
I think it's their
It
Chardonnay sparkling.
So it's their 2017 Domaine Cheval, and it is absolutely delightful. So let's get into some tasting and talking time. And we are going to bring on Holly, who is a certified sommelier, and she is also the tasting room manager here at Rocky Pond Winery. So when we bring her on, we are going to have her give her a little introduction, and we're going to grab this like most amazing wine flight right behind us while we're doing that. So let's welcome. Hey there. Hi, Holly.
Hi. Cheers.
Cheers to you. Okay, well, why don't you give them just a quick kind of little overview and maybe talk about this new tasting room while we get our little flight set up.
All right. So thanks for visiting us today from across the tasting room. So we opened here in October, but for the past couple years, we've been in the warehouse district. We also have our sister tasting room, and our original tasting room is in Lake Chelan as well, on the south end of the downtown area. But basically, we are a family-owned and estate-grown winery, and we're based out of the Arando area. And for those of you who don't know where that is, about 3 hours east of here, where we are in Woodinville, and it's about 10 miles just outside of Lake Chelan. So we have 3 vineyards that are all live certified sustainable. And so that's what makes us estate grown. We grow all the grapes that we make into wine, and we make a considerable a variety of wine. You know, we have like a sparkling that you're enjoying right now. We have white, rosé, reds, and we even make a dessert wine too. So I'm just going to show you the Domaine Cheval that you're enjoying right now.
It is lovely. And by the way, honestly, I think maybe your headphones might be giving a little bit of like static a little bit. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll check.
Okay.
We do have 3 wines. While she's checking on this, I'm going to just show you what a typical tasting looks like here. Look at that. You've got your little tower, which is just amazing. Okay, let's see. All right, let's get Melissa back in here too.
I know that we can't. We have to be really close.
By the way, we are part of basically the same household, so that's why we're here, and that's why Holly is actually having to broadcast from the other side of the tasting room, just so that we can make sure that we are very safe and within the restrictions. Holly, I think that you have your mute button on now. Sorry. It's just, there's always just fun little fumbles. This is what makes this a good time. So we have a couple wines. We tried the sparkling, which was absolutely delightful. What is the retail on that?
So the Domaine Cheval is $46 a bottle, and I know you were talking about Taste Washington earlier.
Yeah.
So for the entire month, not only are we doing the weekly food and wine pairing specials, we're doing 10% off all bottles. So whether you enjoy the bottle here or you take it to go, you are getting 10% off, and you don't have to mention it. We're just giving it to you automatically. So
It's fun for all.
yeah, and it's 100% Chardonnay, and I think that confuses a lot of people when they come in here and they find out it's Chardonnay. They think, oh, it's gonna taste like the Chardonnay wine that they're used to, which is usually not the case. This is a very light, crisp, zippy, zesty bubbles here. The Chardonnay grapes are picked early, so it still preserves lots of acidity in there, and it's made in the method champenois, the traditional method. So you get these light, delicate, really beautiful bubbles.
And I was gonna say, you can see that's like pure perfection right there. Is this the tiny little bubbles? If people don't know, so it's not like a soda stream. This takes work doing this. So awesome. We have I believe, a rosé in front of us next. We want to tell us a little bit about this rosé?
Yes. So this, you're drinking the 2019 Rosé of the Mourvedre grape. And I think it's important to note that while, different types of grape, maybe not familiar grapes, some people can kind of stray away from, but you have to really embrace those weird grapes, because that's where you're going to find fun new things. That's where you're going to find value. So Mourvedre or Mourvedre, tomato, however you say it, it's one of my favorite grapes.
Thank you for saying that, because it is one of the varietals that people are like, they're actually nervous to even pronounce. So they're like, no, that one.
Yeah, it kind of depends on where you are. It's Mourvedre is what I go with, but I hear a lot of Mourvedre, and both ways are correct.
Awesome.
So it's a really food friendly. It's very dry rosé, and technically, when you're in the south of France and you're looking at the greatest rosés in the world, like Domaine Tempier and Domaine Haut, their rosés are made with predominantly Mourvedre as well.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's, everything you want in a rosé. It's crisp, it's clean, it's got nice acidity, but it also has like a little creaminess aspect to it that like gives a really nice mouthfeel on it. So what's the price point on this for the tasting room?
24 for the rosé.
Great buy. And again, this is 10% off during all of Taste Washington Wine Month. And we always suggest, please, if you can, buy direct from the wineries. If you're out tasting and you like something at the tasting room, just buy it there. It's much better for the wineries to support them in the direct to consumer effort. So, just had to throw that one out.
And Holly, most of these wines, are they available for someone to order online as well?
Absolutely. If you can't make it down here or to our Chelan location, we are happy to ship. We ship to most states out here. And right now we're doing $1 shipping on all case orders. So that's a really good deal if you're looking to stock up on bottles and not have to go out about right now.
Well, it's also, sometimes that's like the penny shipping, the dollar shipping, all of that is so great, because sometimes you'll get through to the shopping cart and you're like, the shipping is as much as what, you just purchased, and you back right out of it. But this just allows you to add one more wine to your cart and not have to pay for shipping. I think so anyhow.
I would do it. It's like using all the different types of the grocery deliveries that they're offering right now, and having things delivered. It's really, saves you time. It's really convenient. It's very safe.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that a lot of us are ready to get back out there, but there's still going to be people that are pretty hesitant and still want to drink wine at home or drink wine with, a small group of friends. So it's really great to see that that really affordability on the shipping.
And it's super fun to get a delivery to your doorstep.
Yes,
wine.
There's nothing better than getting a wine delivery. I have to say, and the fact that you really don't even have to sign for them anymore, because we at our office, we get a lot of shipments, and I usually have to be there during a certain time period. But now it's I just go there and they're on my doorstep. It's pretty nice. Okay, let's move on to the third wine that we have in our glass. What is this?
So that is our 2017 Grenache. And this one's coming out of our Double D vineyard. So I mentioned we have 3 vineyards. So the first one, the Clos Cheval, that's where the sparkling grapes come from. That's where a lot of our whites, our interesting whites, come from, like the Gewürztraminer and Riesling. It's because it's sitting up pretty high at about 1,200 feet elevation. Nice and cool, kind of a longer growing season over there. And that's the benefit of having a vineyard next to a body of water. That's a total ideal situation. Just 15 minutes outside of Lake Chelan is our Double D vineyard. That's named for our founder, David Doofenhorst. He and his wife, Michelle, husband and wife duo, founded the winery. And what's great about the Double D vineyard is that instead of sitting on the Lake Chelan water, it's sitting up right on the Columbia River. So we've got the beautiful estate there, about 100 acres planted and sitting right on I guess that would be the east side of the Columbia River. And it's really well suited for a lot of our red wines. So it's got this nice, well-drained soil, lots of rocks. I mean, our name is Rocky Pond, so
you can even smell the minerality on the nose with this wine. It's awesome. And I mean, I wish you guys could see, if I could show you, but this is just such a gorgeous, delicate looking red, and Grenache it's pretty delicate. You know, it's a lighter of the, you know, red wines that are made in Eastern Washington. Truly one of my favorites, honestly. So let me taste it.
And also, it's extremely food friendly, and because we're all about the food and wine pairings here, I just want to point out that there are wines I'll drink when I'm just having a glass, you know, on its own, and then there are wines I want to have when I'm actually eating something with it.
Yeah.
So even though maybe your favorite wines aren't the lighter ones like the Grenaches and the Pinot Noirs of the world, but when you've got a beautiful charcuterie plate in front of you and you're having kind of a more fatty piece of sopressata or a prosciutto, all of a sudden this kind of beautiful, rocky, earthy note from the Grenache. And we also have a lot of lavender bushes right around the pond area. So you're getting a lot of that herbaceousness too.
Definitely.
It all ties in together. It's really all about the pairings.
So let me ask you, because you guys were in, again, we're gonna bring Chef out. Really excited to see his culinary creations, because I'm like, seriously, I've just, people have been emailing us and commenting in our social media, like they are stoked about this place and coming in and being able to have a glass pour or a bottle of wine and have food. Because honestly, like in Woodinville before, there really wasn't, not a lot of wineries actually even offered anything, like, I mean, except crackers, you know? So it's really great to see, you know, because I agree with you, like wine is meant to be had with food, you know? And so it just creates such a different experience. So with this Grenache, and I do believe that you guys have a charcuterie plate. What would be your go-to piece or bite with this Grenache?
So one of my favorite pairings to do, and it's also because of its simplicity, is I'll basically take a caprese salad and I'll turn it into like a caprese salad plus. So I'll get some nice mozzarella or burrata, whatever's available, some fresh tomatoes and some fresh basil, and then I'll just kind of plus. So whether I'm adding, you know, some prosciutto or some crispy little bacon bites, a piece of steak, or just avocado or even grapefruit. I mean, you can kind of dress up a caprese any which way, and it's not something that has to cook. It's something that's, you know, served cold. It's okay if you eat it a little bit later. It's fine.
Totally.
And then it's from there you can just, you know, use your imagination with it and pair it to whatever you're drinking with.
Yeah, I mean, I could throw down some serious cheeses with this, but I also think like the meats, like a salami and like, you know, like a chorizo, like something a little spicy would be a really nice pairing with this as well. So I love it. Get yourself well, first of all, I haven't tried anything that I don't like. So just come and visit, because it's honestly, I wish you could kind of see a little bit more, but it's absolutely a gorgeous tasting room. If there's a lot of space to be socially distanced here. So it's so awesome. So should we kind of prep the chef to maybe come in? Is this a good time, or we can continue on too?
Yeah. No,
and if anybody has any questions,
setting up right over here, so we'll get them on in just a minute or so.
Cool, perfect. And if anybody has any questions, please just drop them in here. We are kind of monitoring it. When we put out this promo, I said, grab your favorite Washington wine and pop it open and have a glass with us. So we'd love to hear what you guys are enjoying, and some of your favorite wineries in Washington. Have you visited Rocky Pond? Have you been there in Chelan? Have you been to the new Woodinville tasting room, which, by the way, if it's been a while since you've been out to Woodinville, this is a whole new area. This is not the warehouse district. This is not the Hollywood district. This is not any of those districts. What is this area called?
So this would be considered the downtown district, which
Oh.
is already a district. It's not new. It's just that now there are more wineries and tasting rooms down here.
Gotcha.
So in our little kind of square area down here, it's called the Wooden Creek Village.
Wooden Creek Village. That's what I was looking for.
Yes, Wooden Creek Village, and it's just 2.5 blocks from where the new Woodinville Schoolhouse kind of tasting room area is going to be, with restaurants or tasting rooms. But what we have down here right now is us and Truth Teller Winery.
Oh, awesome.
There's a lot more coming out here. April, May, June is kind of the estimated opening times.
You also have a Zeke's Pizza, which
Across the street.
is my favorite pizza place, but admittedly because we do a lot of collaborations with them, but it honestly is my favorite pizza. So you can get a slice if you need to after wine tasting, but there's a lot of food here. So let's get to the food, because this isn't just your normal fare. He doesn't mess around.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of info.
I will mention there are also some really delicious tacos right past Zeke's as well that you can enjoy. It's called Lifted Taco, just opened as well.
Oh, I've heard about it actually.
Wooden Creek Kitchen and Tap. So
Okay,
It's
awesome.
a great little community in this little downtown square.
And there's parking. There's a parking garage, and there's plenty of parking along the streets. It's pouring rain today, and it was really easy for me to get in here without getting my hair messed up.
Yeah, parking is definitely a plus over here. So
Yeah.
I'm going to show you from the kitchen
Cool.
different things. So
We're gonna give it to you now. So you are gonna just be there and take it away.
So we're going to show you a few of our dishes, and we have things that are on our regular menu that you can get most days. We also have a special members only menu, so we're going to give you a sneak preview of that, and then we're also going to give you a sneak preview of what we're actually doing here right now for Taste Washington Week. As Kristen was mentioning earlier, every week is a different food and wine pairing. Week 1 is the Cabernet Casserole, which we've kind of put our spin on. But I'm going to let our Director of Culinary, Chef Doug Sedniker, tell you about that. Bear with me for a second. Okay. Hi,
Good
Chef.
afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Virtual Rocky Pond. Glad to share some things with you today. So starting on our normal appetizer menu, when you come into our tasting room, you'll find some of the classics like charcuterie and fruit and cheese and things with kind of our own special twist. Everything's experience-based here for us, so we do a lot of special sourcing and things from scratch as much as possible in-house. And as we grow, we're going to be very sustainable with our own gardens, and hopefully in the future, cheese caves, curing our own meats. Some of these things are already taking place. So I will show you, I probably will turn the camera here. This is our charcuterie platter, and also a melon and prosciutto dish that we do. So we source prosciutto from Norwalk, Iowa. It's a great American story out there of a group that produces their own livestock and sees the whole process through the prosciutto. And we talk this with all the customers as they're into. Then we have an air-dried beef that's bresaola over here. We put on 3 different salumis and a variety of cheeses, everything from Drunken Goat to Nice Manchego out of Spain to locals from both Washington and Oregon. Right now we're featuring Rogue River Creamery Smoky Blue. And then there's a really ugly little beautiful brown blob on here, as I like to call it. And we make our own caramelized shallot jam that we reduce for 3 to 4 hours with a touch of little special herbs and things in there, just some sweetness to go along. We also house finish and bake our own crackers, roast our own olives, and finish and roast our own Marcona almonds. Right now we're featuring a Sitka spruce tip sea salt that comes out of Sitka, Alaska. That's a lot of fun and has a great flavor that we feature as well. So we have a lot of fun doing this, and then our melon and prosciutto, of course. And there's other things on the basic menu, from our special bread and butter, which we have, again, we put special touches into our whipped butter with a little local raw organic honey and orange zest. We also have roasted asparagus and lots of other fun things on there. There's a vegan version of this, the melon and prosciutto. We actually do a melon and portobello, where I have a smoky marinated portobello, little cherry and fig balsamic, and these are sitting on a bed of roasted ground toasted Marcona almonds as well. So just an example of some of the touches we do there for the everyday dining and visits to the wine room.
By the way, our mouths are watering. Just FYI for everyone, because we didn't want to be eating on air and we wanted to really showcase the food. We will be eating this right after. I mean, like face first right into this.
Yeah,
So,
for you.
okay, well, back to you, Chef.
Great. So our feature for this week to go along with the Washington wine pairings is we kind of did a little twist, casseroles and Cabernet. So we kind of did a little ode to Julia Child here, and we have a classic French cassoulet. And found that if you look up cassoulet and Google it on the internet right now, you're going to find every shortcut and every easy way to make cassoulet. And I will just tell you as a chef, and like I said, kind of our ode to Julia, that there's really no shortcuts on this. This is a 2 to 3 day process. There's a lot of heart that went into this, but it's basically a very flavorful French country bean dish. And then they utilized, depending on the region or township you were in, you either had lamb or duck or goose, always a lot of different pork products. They would use salt pork and different uncured bacons and cooking the beans and things. So the whole premise of it is to get as much flavor into the beans as you can. And that's a slow process to do, but it's a wonderful result. And in our showcasing here, so we've got the beans cooked with a country style uncured bacon. Then in the cassoulet, you're going to find little tidbits of roasted pork belly, smoked pork loin, lamb shoulder that's been braised in our divine wine and some wonderful broth. And then also, kind of ode to Julia too, they would make little sausage patties. So we have a fennel and Calvados sausage patty on top, as well as a little bit of roasted duck. It's all kind of hard to see in this dish, but it's all on there, and the goodness is in all the flavor, and everything goes along with that. Also has a little crispy roasted garlic and Parmesan croutons that are ground up on there as well. So we'll have something really fun each week of the month that'll go along with the wines really well. Our whole mission here is to give you a great, entertaining time and to help elevate the wines. So we have a lot of fun with the food, both in the main dining room and then privately as well. So as things open up, we do winemakers dinners and all kinds of fun club member events too. So this is I actually have a private party going on at 5 o'clock tonight. And this is a small sample of some of the hors d'oeuvres they're going to get on this. And we have everything from a triple cream stuffed potato to our Sleeping Beauty stuffed date, which is a local Washington cheese. And then it's an extra large fancy medjool date wrapped in prosciutto. We have a phyllo purse with a touch of my shallot jam and some of the Rogue Creamery smoky blue, and also some speck. And then we have an ahi tuna wonton as well. So just small sampling of some of the things we do for our club members as well as for private events as well. So we look forward to seeing you in here. And our most special guest we've ever served is the next one that walks in, so we hope it's you.
I like to mute myself constantly. I think my sister likes to mute me a lot too. But now, do you suggest that people, for these the special dinners that you guys are doing in conjunction with Taste Washington, I'm assuming that there's like a limited number, maybe, suggested to call ahead and make a reservation?
We definitely recommend making reservations, not just based on the food, but just on our wine tasting room as well.
Right.
We got a large number of tables open, so we got a pretty expansive space. So even at 25%, we do pretty well. But on the busy days, we are full. So definitely recommend calling ahead for that. And then I do my very best to forecast food, and knock on wood, we've not run out of things hardly at all. So we try to always have an ample amount of all our favorites.
I can imagine that it's a little difficult to plan for what 25% really looks like, and individuals' appetites and everything. So kudos to you for all the work that you do. Like, that food looks absolutely stunning. I can't wait to try some of these once we're done. But thank you again, Chef.
Thank you very much.
We will post on here the website and information about what's coming up for Taste Washington. I believe that you guys have the Chardonnay and Chard. Can you tell us what's
Asian halibut? Yeah, it's a Chard Asian halibut salad with a papaya vinaigrette, and it has a little blood orange and some orange glazed sesame sticks and different things on it. Very, very tasty item.
Sounds delicious.
Sounds phenomenal.
To get summer here a little quicker. So.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, thank you again. And come out and see Chef Doug. He is a culinary master. So
I try to visit every table I can here as part of the fun and getting feedback from customers as well. So
fantastic. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Okay, so that's kind of our portion of touring and tasting. The Rocky Pond Winery in Woodinville is absolutely wonderful. It's honestly stunning, and we feel very safe. And by the way, we are currently in the wine members room. This is something that you, as a wine club member, you can rent out. You can reserve it for a special dinner. So I can't really show you everything in here, but it's gorgeous. It's like this beautiful glass room.
And they also have patio. They have a patio
And
seating.
they have a patio.
So for days like yesterday and the day before where the sun was out, you can sit outside and enjoy your wine.
Exactly.
In a cute little patio setting.
Yeah. So now let's get to the gritty, okay? So here's the thing. One of the most read stories on sipmagazine.com is always about wine tasting etiquette. And we wanted to kind of revisit this because now that we're in phase 2, it's not the same as before. You know, we've got to be patient. We've got to, try to make it as good of an experience for not just us as consumers, but for the wineries, because this is a whole new format for them. So we kind of want to just quickly go over, we talked to a bunch of wineries. I want to give a huge shout out to Alex at Watermill Winery. He supplied us with a lot of information. He is totally in the trenches. And so this is not just one winery, but this is kind of like a collection of all of the wineries and kind of what to expect while you're out there and how to be a good steward and get out, because they want to invite you in, they want to have you, but we don't want to go backwards, folks. So Melissa, I think we've got about 10 or 12 little key points. Let's get to it. Wine tasting etiquette in a pandemic 101.
So the first thing that we kind of heard from everybody is to make a reservation. They are
and stick to it.
And stick to it. You can call ahead. Most wineries also have a website, or on their website you can make a reservation just so they can plan in the tasting room. But also if you're tasting indoors, a lot of the wineries right now are at 25% capacity. So they also are trying to manage indoor versus outdoor and how many people they can get in. So make a reservation and stick to it. Understand what is going on in each individual county and region. Washington State as a whole is in phase 2, but there may be different restrictions in whether you're tasting down in Oregon and Idaho. So just make sure that before you go, you check what the current restrictions are in each individual county.
And you can also ask them when you call and make a reservation. I mean, is there anything specific that you need to know? Please, just like, when you were tasting before, if you have obviously it's only 2 households still, but unfortunately most, it's hard to really check that when you come in the door. So be respectful of that when you're doing that.
Number 3 is, that was plan for weather. A lot of the tasting rooms have outdoor patios, which are great. We are still in our rainy season, especially up in Washington or in the Seattle area. So come with a blanket, come with dress warm. A lot of locations are trying to provide heaters and propane, but if you've tried to get a propane tank at times, it's kind of hard. So just come prepared and plan for the weather, and just take it upon you to make sure that you're comfortable and not rely on the winery. They will do everything they can, but that will only help your experience. And
the thing is that, we were Alex told us about this. I didn't really think about this before, but like anybody will figure out a good spot. So if there's a barrel sitting out, you can use it. If it's within, like 6 feet away, grab a blanket, just go in the, find a spot, have a picnic, make it a day. But yeah, definitely plan for weather. I would say like be under the assumption that you're going to be outside. That's just a good rule of thumb, prepare for that. So
be respectful of your time. Every tasting day in every winery is a little bit different, and you may go in and nobody is tasting on that day that you choose to go, and you could be there for hours. Or you could show up on a Saturday that's sunny and everybody is wanting to taste at that time. So just remember that they're trying to get in as many people as, that they can safely handle, and just be cognizant of the time that you're spending in each tasting room and that we're not overstaying our welcome. And again, each day is completely different.
It is different. Yeah. And I think it's a good rule of thumb to just maybe even ask again, when you're calling, make a reservation, like, typically what do you guys like it, what's the time frame? I would say like 90 minutes is pretty like standard. If you want to stay a while and it's not that busy, like, do whatever, grab another bottle of wine, have some wine. This is kind of obvious, but go ahead.
If you're sick, stay home, whether you're traveling or not. I think that's the universal language right now. If you are sick, don't go out.
And the thing is that, these tasting room associates are also putting themselves at risk to serve you and create a great experience for you. And I know a lot of times, like, I've been out of town, and this was pre-COVID, and we've been out of town for a big, tasting excursion, and I've gotten sick and I've had to stay back, and that's just fine because everyone else can go and just bring me back all the goods, and I will imbibe at wherever I'm at. So
mask up. I think most of the counties are, once you're seated at your table, you can remove your mask. I would say one of the things that I've heard from people is to be cognizant when your server comes back to your table, to just be respectful that they are masked as well. And just to make everything better, just throw your mask on when they're coming to serve your flight, or cover it to just make it more comfortable for your server and the people that are around you.
Yeah, and I think like most wineries are going to be pretty well stocked with gloves and masks if you forget one or something like that. But the other thing is this is one thing that we always say pre-COVID: don't wear heavy perfume or cologne out wine tasting. First of all, it's not only going to mess with your senses, it's also going to mess with everybody else that's around you. So same with that. In the same vein, don't bring and use a ton of hand sanitizer that's insanely perfumey, because it's the same as wearing just overly too much, and it's going to wreck your senses and wreck everybody.
Smell when you taste that first glass.
Exactly. Yep. That floral note should not be coming from
your peach Bellini.
Yeah, exactly.
Hand sanitizer. Yeah. Wishy-washy occupancy. So it's pretty straightforward that the indoor capacity is 25%, and that is each tasting room is going to be based on their size and how many they can accommodate. Outside is a little bit different, and that is based on space, maintaining 6 feet, how many people are in your party, and things like that. But if you can turn a wine barrel into a table and maintain social distancing, then that is that's what wineries are going to try and do. So a lot of wineries are getting super creative on their patios to be able to accommodate people as many as they can while still maintaining that 6 foot distance in social distancing.
Totally. And the final one, no, this isn't the final one. No, this isn't. This is just be a good human.
Just in general life.
Be
nice.
Totally. And I think that like I've been seeing, like a lot of servers. I'm part of the Seattle restaurant support group. Maybe we all need a little support in this industry right now, but it's just the number of consumers that come in and are just flat out just mean, and we keep saying this, but we're all in this together. And if you act like that, you're not going to probably get the best service anyway. But anywho, be nice, be patient. They are all working under new restrictions, just like you guys.
If you're constantly changing.
If you're coming from Texas, mask up. Come on. This goes out to my brother and new sister-in-law. And then last but not least,
bye.
The thing is that I'm sure you guys are all well aware that when you buy something at buy wine at a grocery store, the winery is getting wholesale pricing for that. If you are at a tasting room and there is a wine that you like, buy it then and there. Just buy it. I mean, especially during Taste Washington Wine Month when everybody's doing these great promos and great shipping. If you don't want to buy it now or lug all the wine back home. Again, like they just ask them what's going on, like talk to them about their wine club. I'm sure that they're doing these, penny shipping or dollar shipping or whatever. Just kind of do your best to support them at the time, because you kind of like will leave and then it'll be out of your head and out of your mind. So just kind of staying present and bye. So.
And I would say, kind of a last note is do not be afraid to ask a question to the tasting room people and who's helping and serving and things like that. They would rather you ask questions or rather than assume you know. A perfect example was we were talking about a lot of people like to use a dump bucket. You may not see those as prevalent. If you just ask what they're doing, and if you're not sure, they're there to help as much as they can to make the experience as fun as possible.
Absolutely. So that kind of wraps it up. I think there's, let's see if there's a few. Oh, hey mom. Hi mom. I also love this Washington wine mask. It's so cool. It's great. But we're going to drop in some information in the comments. And if you guys have any questions, obviously we are always here. You can even comment after this and we still get it. But we just want everybody to be safe out there. We're not over this yet because we've been giving, a little bit of leeway. Don't take advantage of it. This is such a great industry. Washington wine is our heart and soul. I mean, I usually cry about this time, but don't worry, I'm not going to today. But anyway, we just appreciate you guys joining us on it. And also, if there's any specific wineries around that you want us to broadcast from,
let us know.
We're doing this all month. So we hope to kind of continue this full pour on a more consistent basis. Again, we're a very small team, so we've got a lot of things going on. So we try to get to these as much as possible, and we appreciate you joining us. And we just, thank you for your support. We also follow us at SIP Magazine. We have different content for the magazine. We have different content for the website and our different content for our social media. So follow us everywhere because we are here to support all the craft beverages around the Pacific Northwest. And we are out there for you finding these little hidden gems. And I think we found one here at Rocky Pond tonight. I mean, this is phenomenal. We are going to be out and we're going to go eat that food that you just saw. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Super fun. And cheers, everyone. See you later.